Hey everybody, awesome news. A huge win for President Trump. The Supreme Court has ruled in favor of President Trump and the rule of law. Thank you, Supreme Court justices. I'm going to play you just what the president says. I'm not going to play everything everybody says. I'm just going to play what the president says because it's an awesome win for the president, office of the president, because in fact it is true. They were basically chokeholding the president, not allowing him to get anything done, because every time they didn't like something he did, they'd just go, you know what, we'll just injunction you until the cows come home. Literally. And that's not how things are supposed to go. So thank you, Supreme Court, for having comment, for ruling in the favor of law and order. Here we go, the President of the United States.
A monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law.
Hold on, let me put my caps on.
In striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch, the Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour. There are people elated all over the country. I've seen such happiness and spirit.
This is what I voted for.
This case is very important. I was elected on
because this is what now stuff can get done finally.
A handful of radical left judges effectively tried to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate case.
And I want to say something, don't get it twisted. I don't have a problem with immigrants. I have a problem with illegal immigrants. And I definitely don't want chaos in our streets. I'm sorry, but that's just not okay. Chaos in our streets, I mean, come on. Don't we want to all get along and have a peaceful existence? It's been chaotic. And every time, and I mean every single time the president did something that the left or the liberals or the Democrats or whoever did not like, they immediately threw up an injunction. So this is a huge win.
Before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years.
Which means nothing could ever get done.
Right up in the court system. This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades, and we've been hit with more.
Hold on. Sorry, I had a scratchy shoulder.
Injunctions that were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th century. Me. I'm grateful to the Supreme Court for stepping in and solving this very big and complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts.
Yes, thank
and
you.
Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas.
Yes, thank you.
Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case, because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason.
That's right, it wasn't.
Of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary
So
funding,
happy.
stopping federal
So
taxpayers
happy.
from paying
I could
for
cry.
transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many.
This
of
is
them.
what we
have all
voted
listed
for.
like
This is
20
what we
of them.
voted for. Sorry, I cannot help it. I know I'm supposed to be neutral, but I can't help it. I'm so thrilled.
This is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank again the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud, and our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court today. And with that, I'd like you to.
Okay, and that's pretty much, he's going to hand it over to Pam Bondi, who's going to say some words, and she's going to pass it off to the next person, and so forth and so on. But yes, it is a huge, huge win. I am thrilled that there will no longer be sanctuary city funding, because I'm sorry, but no other country in the world has sanctuary cities and sanctuary city policies where people who are in the country illegally are given more than actual citizens that were born here, raised here, everything else. No, I'm sorry. And if you want to be an American citizen and you want the American dream, then you gotta become an American citizen. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. That's how most people feel. I don't have a problem with immigrants. Hey, country, that's what this country was built on. That and settlers. But, yes. And I don't want to hear about stolen land, because technically everybody's on stolen land, because it belonged to a lot of different people before it belonged to anyone else. So stop with that stolen land nonsense, because it belonged to the Native Americans first and foremost. And we could go on from there. I don't know if I said that right. I hope I did. I hope I did not offend anyone. But the point is, yay! All right, guys, I will catch you later. Don't forget, like and subscribe. And shout out to Fox News for running that story. I just got the breaking news that that was a huge win for the office of the White House and the people, including myself, who in fact voted